I'm 19.
Do you support Trump?
Not exactly. Yes. But
So if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
I'd absolutely vote for Trump.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
Well, there's a few reasons, but let's start on like the Iran war. His handling of that is much better than what Kamala's would have been. And yes, she would have gone to war with them. She said that in an interview.
She never said that she would go to war with Iran, like start a war with them.
Well, no, but she said that she thought that it was a likely solution to the issue in Iran.
I don't think that's
the
what she said.
Well, if you
Would you like
look
to
up,
provide
there's
that
an
quote?
I don't know the direct quote.
Then
I
why are
can't
you
pull-
citing it as a direct quote?
I didn't say it was a direct quote.
That's exactly
Now,
what
I'd
you just tried to
appreciate-
cite.
Actually, Parker, I'd appreciate if you'd stop asking questions that try and change my point. And
I
just
didn't
let me
change your
talk on
point. I
my point.
asked you a question based upon what you said.
Well, yeah, you asked me a question that framed my point as something different from what I was trying to say.
It wasn't different from what you were saying. That was exactly what
Yeah,
you said,
I didn't
and you're
say it
trying to
was a
back
direct
off of
quote.
that.
She said in an interview something along
Yeah.
the lines of she would go
You
to war
never
with
said along
Iran.
the lines. You said she said in an interview this, and then I responded and said, "Do you have a basis for that?" You said no, and I said, "Okay, then why did you directly say that she said that?"
Well, you could go ahead and find the interview yourself if you'd
How
like
about you
to.
find the
It
interview? You're the one
exists.
making the claim, sir.
Well, I don't need to do that right now. You know
I don't
the
need to do
interview
that either.
exists.
So why are you telling me?
I'm just saying, you know the interview exists. We can agree on that. She
No,
did say,
I don't
well,
know this
you're
interview
wrong.
exists. What interview are you referencing?
I don't know exactly which interview it was, but I have watched it with my own eyes. I've watched the interview
Cool.
happen.
Great to know. Great to know. Tell me something that you can verify.
Something that I can 100% verify is that I watched your live yesterday. You said that Kamala Harris was never named the border czar. You're correct on that. Except the problem with that is that nobody has ever been named the border czar. It's not an official political position, and it wasn't.
Someone has
until
been
Tom
named the
Homan.
border czar. Trump named, right, someone
Tom
the border
Homan.
czar.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's when it became an
you know that, right?
official
like,
name for the position.
Yeah, because
that's what
because
I
they
was just
decided
saying.
to like make a
No,
thing
no,
out
Parker,
of it. So
Parker,
you are
I'm
slightly
talking
wrong
here.
with that.
I'm
It's
talking
okay
here.
though. I know your point.
She wasn't named the border czar
Exactly.
because it didn't exist as an official position before now. But she was put in charge of handling things at the border. That's
What?
an absolute fact. She was put in charge. So the vice president is given duties by the president, certain duties. She was put in charge of handling things at the border.
Such as?
She never,
Such as?
well, she was supposed to oversee the Department of Homeland Security. That was her job, oversight.
No, her job was to raise private funds for Central American countries to reduce the likelihood of people coming here based on economic insecurity. Where did you
Yeah.
get that from? You just
Based
made that
on-
up because you
based
didn't
on-
know. You just said that because you didn't know.
She never spoke once with the head of the Department of Homeland Security in the time that he was the head for 3 years. And also, it's just, I mean, if she was supposed to reduce illegal border crossings, then why did we see the most illegal border crossings?
We
in
saw
almost-
reductions from those countries.
From which countries?
Yeah,
The ones that are part of the lowest rates of illegal border crossing?
No, these were actually some of the highest, right? So there was the three triangle countries specifically in the context of South America that would apply, that Harris raised $5 billion of funds for. It is specifically private funds for like building up infrastructure within the country. Do you want to know the specific countries?
Yeah, I would like to.
Yeah, let me make sure I'm getting the countries correct. Specifically for oh, wait, hold up. 1 second. 1 second. Why is it not telling me the countries? I literally just had it. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Sorry, I have it right here. It's loading. El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. Yeah.
El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are right. Those are some of the highest. I would like to know, do you know like what the reduction in numbers was? Because by my understanding, it's even if there was a reduction, there was still a vastly larger number of illegal border crossings under the Biden administration than there was under the prior administrations, like the Obama administration and the Trump.
Yeah. So based on the implementation of it, we saw a reduction from that particular region. I can send you a Reuters article. It says U.S. VP highlights 4.2 billion private sector investment in Central America, and it explicitly says arrivals from Northern and Central America have steadily declined following a sharp rise in 2021 after Biden took office. So, alrighty, well, I can't hear while you're out of the app. Just letting you know. Give me a second to find this, I guess. Did you find what you're looking for?
I think the topic of the border is also a shaky one. I don't think Kamala would have done a good handling of the border, and I'm still slightly unhappy with Trump's handling of the current border. But there are almost zero border crossings, but it's just in terms of deportations, I think that could be handled better, much like the Obama administration did a very great job on handling deportations. I don't think that framing ICE as murderers who kill Americans is a good thing, because ICE did kill 78 Americans under the Obama administration. It's just not something that the media actually reported on. Now it's something that is being reported on in masses because there are people protesting it, which, there was protests back under the Obama administration against ICE, but that's something that there was a lot less protests. The media wasn't bound to report that, but
because the Trump administration is violating due process to a greater extent, justifying the murder of U.S. citizens in broad daylight, trying to remove legal permanent residents from the country for engaging in free speech. I mean, we can give countless examples of what they're doing as opposed to what the Obama administration was doing under their administration as to why they're getting a more negative response. But even so, right, you have to understand that
the Obama administration went along with deportations in almost the exact same way the Trump administration is currently going.
No, I very much disagree with that. Were they utilizing racial profiling? Were they allowing ICE to search and seize without utilizing a judicial warrant?
So if you have 90%
I want
of
specific
border
answers to
coming
those questions.
from South American.
Did they allow for ICE to not use a judicial warrant?
Well, can we? You're kind of ignoring what I'm trying to talk about here. You're changing the subject. I would like to just talk about.
I'm not changing the subject. This is specific to what they're talking about. You said, oh, they had the same policy. Okay, I'm asking you, did Obama's administration allow for ICE to not use a judicial warrant to search and seize people's properties?
No, but that's not my point.
So then that's a very big distinction between the Trump administration's ICE and Obama's ICE. Okay,
I'll agree with that.
Also, we can bring up racial profiling. Did the Obama administration allow for ICE to take into consideration race within the consideration of reasons as to why they want to deport someone?
I don't think either administration takes that into consideration when they're saying they want to deport someone.
Yes, they do.
Well,
detain. I said detain.
Detain? Well, detention is different, but let's talk about.
So wait, can you address that? That's also different.
Yeah, so it's different. It's different because between the
Obama administration and the Trump administration.
In order to suspect someone of illegally crossing the border, let's talk about the criteria for that. When almost 80 to 90% of illegal border crossings come from South American or Central American countries, how can you not racially profile?
Oh, now he's arguing for racial profiling. Oh,
no, I'm not saying. Well,
look at this guy just argued for racial profiling. Let's talk about,
if you tell someone the suspect is a 6'4" white man, Caucasian male, then they have to look for a Caucasian male. If you tell someone the suspect is Hispanic, they have to look for a Hispanic person. If you tell someone the suspect is black, they have to look for an African American person.
So here's just basic question.
Do you not agree?
Do you support racial profiling?
It depends on how you view it. If you're saying racial profiling is not, you have to.
It's not that someone committed a crime that meets this description. It's that someone is of this race. Therefore, I'm going to profile them and detain them.
I don't have to detain someone because of their race, but if I'm going to question them and they're not going to answer my questions and they're not going to give me reason to not detain them,
simply because of their race.
Not because of their race, no, because they're not cooperating with an investigation.
What cooperation do they need to engage with? They didn't commit any crime.
Well, yeah, if they didn't commit any crime, then they should be able to prove that. They should have some
sort of... Prove that?
Well, they should have some
How the fuck are they supposed to do that?
Well, if the crime we're talking about is an illegal border crossing, they should be able to actually,
So you think
provide documentation.
So you think that the police should just be able to come up to you and say paper? So I should just be able to come up to anyone and be like, papers, please?
No, and if you don't have them, then there are ways to comply with them and be able to tell them that you are a legal citizen, right?
So
You
you
can
think
have a
that people
conversation
should
with them.
comply with the law?
Yes, absolutely. You should
Why don't
comply
you
with
tell
the law.
Trump to do that with the Epstein files?
Well, that's whataboutism. I'm not talking about the
I said,
Epstein
why don't
files.
you? Why? I said it's a basic question, simple question.
You're
Why don't
changing
you
the
tell Trump
subject.
to comply with the law when it comes to releasing the Epstein files?
Dude, I would happily tell him that. I don't agree with Trump on everything, but you're changing the subject to make your point look better. And in fact, it's just that's not what we're talking about here. Why don't we talk about what we're actually talking about instead of you just asking a question that has nothing to do with what we're talking about? You make yourself look arrogant. That doesn't make you more right asking me that question. You know that.
It does, because I'm just demonstrating an example where Donald Trump doesn't comply with the law himself. So you guys hold a double standard for undocumented
It's
immigrants
not a
as
double
opposed to
standard.
Donald Trump. Donald
I would
Trump is
like if
above the
he did
law under your view.
I would like if he did comply with the law. I can tell him to do that. That doesn't mean he's going to do that.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like your care is really about compliance if you don't really apply that as a standard to Trump that really has any type of meaning
I do
other than,
apply it
I
as a
just
standard
disagree
to
with
him.
that.
I do apply it as a standard to him. That doesn't change the fact that I would still vote for him over Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris also,
But she would
by the
uphold the
way,
law to a greater extent is kind of my point.
how can you prove that?
Because Trump's not releasing all the Epstein files, even though he's legally obligated to do
What
so.
Trump is
Because
doing
Trump
doesn't
has
prove
explicitly
that Kamala
tried
would
to
do any
violate the
better.
law in countless situations. He's a convicted felon. She's
Yeah,
literally put people like him
you're talking
in
about
prison.
Trump. I asked you how can you prove that Kamala would not?
Yeah, I said as a comparison,
do
you make
better.
a comparison between Harris and Trump, and you see that
Yeah, but that
Harris is
doesn't
more
prove
likely
that
to
Kamala
respect
would
the
do
law
any
based
better.
upon her. Listen, please.
That doesn't prove that she would do any better.
Listen. She's more likely to
Whoa,
respect the
whoa.
law because of the fact that she has a history enforcing the law, whereas Donald Trump has a history of breaking the law. Is that clear? Is that a hard thing for you to understand? That a criminal is more likely to break the law than a
You're
fucking
embarrassing yourself.
former prosecutor, former district attorney, former attorney general, a guy that's violating the law while he's in office, a guy that's convicted of violating the law, a guy that's pardoned violent criminals who beat police officers, who violated the law for his benefit on January 6th. I mean, I can give you a history of Donald Trump violating the law. You cannot give me a history of Harris violating the law. You have nothing to justify your standpoints, but you're going to act like I'm just like bringing up some random irrelevant point? How embarrassing. This isn't cocky of me. This isn't me out of the order. This is me
Parker,
just telling you the facts.
Look at the way
I'm
you're
sorry that
talking
hurts your
right
feelings.
now. Look in a mirror, bro. You're just an arrogant.
I am looking in a mirror. I'm not
egotistical piece of
arrogant for
shit.
telling you the facts. I'm not cocky or arrogant for telling you the facts. I'm just telling you the facts. And you're mad.
I'm not the one who's mad.
You clearly are because you're unwilling to engage with the points that I'm making.
I engaged with every single point that you made.
Really?
Up until this one.
Okay, there were multiple that you didn't address there. Would you like to address them?
Go over them.
Could you address them?
Which ones did I not address? Because I
You just
addressed
said you
every
didn't
single
address one.
point.
Can you address the one that you didn't address?
Yeah, the one that I didn't address was where you said that Kamala Harris would handle things better or comply with the law more than Trump does.
And did you hear the evidence I provided for that?
Yes, I did.
What was the evidence?
The evidence you provided was that she has a history of complying with the law and enforcing the law, while Trump has no history of enforcing the law.
And he violated the law on countless occasions. And pardoned people who violated the law on countless occasions because they benefit him. So what's the response?
My response is that the policies of the current administration do better for the country in the long run than the policies of any administration in the last 30 years of any Democrat,
Okay, name a policy.
which have harmed the country in the long run.
Or name two policies.
Let's start with I think, and people will vastly disagree with this, but I think cuts to certain programs are a good thing. Medicare, Medicaid, those programs that don't actually work when you really lay them out on paper. They work for some people, but they are vastly abused as a way
So
to...
what policy? I asked for two policies. So what two policies? You swiped out of the app. I can't hear you, sir. Are you leaving? Are you trying to run away? I've never in my life has silence been so loud. Jeez, that's brutal. That was brutal. Yikes, man. Yikes, man. I think he's leaving right now. Alicia, thank you very much for the $10. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Of course, I always will. Thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I think
Oh,
tariffs work. They have
oh,
been
you were
proven to
looking them
work.
up. So
Actually,
tariffs. What else? Second policy?
I didn't look anything up. I was actually just
Really?
I was texting my brother. His car broke down, and I have to actually go soon to help him. But that's a different
Okay.
thing.
I'm
I
sorry to
actually
hear
have
that.
a
I'm
life
sorry to hear
instead
that.
of sitting on a
But
TikTok live stream all day debating
sounds like you're
people.
angry, bro.
And
So would you like to tell me a second policy?
no, I'd like to actually talk more about tariffs.
No, I wouldn't. Okay, so you don't know two policies.
I do know two policies, but I'd like to
So
talk on
name
the
them.
first one that I gave. Well, I don't. I'm not obligated to do that. I'd like to talk to you
I
about
asked you the
tariffs.
question, so if you can't answer the question, you can just say that.
I'm not saying I can't answer the question. I
Then
could
say
give
it.
you a second policy right now,
Go
but I'm
for it.
not obligated to.
Do it.
Uh, can we just talk about what I asked you to talk about?
Can you just name one more policy?
No, I can't. There you
That's what
go.
I
You
thought.
happy?
That's what I thought.
Well, I
Yeah.
could name another
So
policy,
then
but
do
I
it.
chose not to.
So do it.
No, no.
Everyone knows you can't. You could do it real quick.
Trump's foreign policy is better than any president
So
in the last
what
40 years.
specific policy? This is really embarrassing. So what specific policy? Wow. What policy? The foreign one, Parker. The foreign one. That's the specific policy, Parker. So you don't know the policies. You could just admit it. Just go for it. It's
I'm
not,
not-
that.
I'm not-
It is
I'm not-
less embarrassing to admit it than this. This is more embarrassing. Okay.
I'm not going to sit here while you just keep asking me that dumb question. I would like to talk about the policy
Aw,
that I already
he's
gave
mad.
you,
Go
which
for
is
it.
tariffs.
Bring up what you'd like. I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings.
You are insufferable. But anyway, let's talk about tariffs. So tariffs have caused actually many countries to give massive investments in the US, many businesses to give massive investments in the US.
Uh-huh.
Those
Really?
investments will one day be able to replace income tax. for all
Really?
Americans.
The
Federal
entirety of income tax?
Yeah, federal income tax. Or lower
Really?
it drastically. Yeah.
Really? Really? What if I told you that real domestic manufacturing investment declined every single quarter of Trump's administration so far? How would you feel about that?
I tell you that that's the wrong number to look at.
Really? Manufacturing investment is the wrong number to look at?
Yes.
How is that the wrong one to look at? You just swiped out of the app. I can't hear you, sir. You got to come back into the app for me to be able to hear you. Okay. As well as Sonia, thank you very much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you very much. Yes, they said no use of force or related shootings were reported. Yeah, that is something that's very distinct as well. Another good point to bring up. Hey, everybody, just give him a second. He must be texting his brother.
Most of the investments come in forms of like projects like the joint project with Japan for
I don't know what he's looking at right now. This must be Google. All right, well, take a look at the screen, man. This is a real private fixed investment, non-residential structures manufacturing. And you can see a massive increase. You see this massive increase? Do you think this is evidence of Trump, like, making things better off, sir? Do you think this is evidence of Trump making things better off, sir? Come back into the app. Hello.
largest source of foreign investment. Trump secured 550
Yeah, look at this. This categorizes the investment. Do you think
a
this
$550
graph?
billion pledge for an investment in crude oil facilities, like oil production facilities, and that's Japan and the
which is
US.
within the context of manufacturing. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think this graph right here proves that Trump has increased increased manufacturing investment into the country?
Well, the numbers wouldn't show up on that graph yet, as it's, like I said, a $550 billion pledge to the United States. It means
So
the money
then it's not even sent
it
the money yet.
hasn't.
We don't know when it's going to
The
come.
money hasn't had its actual effect on our economy yet because the project hasn't been fully like.
Well, take a
played
look at
out.
this graph real quick.
If you would notice, like the effects of a president's administration you don't see the full effect of certain aspects like these investments. You won't see the effect that it has on the American economy until years in the future.
That is not true. Look at the Biden administration. This is when Trump left office. This is his whole administration. Massive growth. Trump gets into office, and look at this, all
Yeah,
decline.
that's actually due to the multiple investments that actually never went anywhere through Biden's administration.
Like what investments?
Let-
Give him a second, everybody. I think he needs to text his brother, and then he'll just remember the point he's making. You know. Oh, okay. It looks like he's speaking to his brother. First name Goo, last name Gold. So give him a second, everybody. Give him a minute to look through his source. I'll make sure to look through the same one he is. Give him a second, everybody. He's asking brother Goo. Alrighty, give him a second, everyone. Wow, this is a bit brutal. Let's get another person up here, honestly, to help him out. I think he might be leaving at this point. Let's get the next person up here. Only do send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. We're just looking for debates. Yo, Tapaldi?
We are Parker's Retro.
Only do send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. We are just looking for debates.